TV.
Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, we're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgot.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome to Byond Talk. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Good evening, everyone. I think Aaron is you're mute or we can't hear you. But we're gonna go right into it. So, are you there?
Hey, Sandra.
Hi. I can hear you now.
Sorry, I can't see you. Oh, there we are.
Okay, you're good.
Hi.
Hi. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
I couldn't see you there for a minute.
You
I
can
don't know if
see
it was
me?
my phone or is it the broadcast. But anyhow, I can see you now. So good
Great.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you all for joining us at Byond Talk. I'm Aaron George.
And I'm Sandra Turgot.
Excellent. Welcome. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, Byond Talk is a social mentoring forum. It's a space designed to engage our community in thought-provoking conversation about real-life issues, triumphs, victory, success. This space is designed to inspire you to transform and to heal. And we know in life, one of the greatest strategies in life is for us to lose our authentic self and to accept a version of us that is accepted by everyone else. So we're here in this space to inspire you to go after your transformation and to heal your life. And we do this twice a month, and we have some very inspiring conversations. And we are in for a great one this evening with our guests. And Sandra, who's our guest for this evening?
Oh wow, our guest.
Something about our guest.
Our guest for this evening. But before we have her on, I'm just gonna do a little reading before we start the show. So, but our guest for tonight is Monique Falconer Bramwell. I hope I said that right. And she's a financial coach. But tonight, we're going to be talking about healing as it pertains to the education around finance, right? So I think she's chiming in. Oh, great. Okay, no problem. All right, Monique is here. Hi, Monique.
Hi, Monique. Welcome.
Hello. How are you? Thank you.
I hope I didn't butcher your name. I said it. Monique Falconer Bramwell. Did I say correctly?
You were close, but it's Faulkner Bramwell. No, it was close though.
Faulkner. Say it for me.
No. Faulkner.
Did you
seem like you were trying really hard. Faulkner Bramwell. That's all. not all of that.
Yeah, I butcher people's name all the time, so I just wanted to get it correct. Yeah, welcome, Monique. We're so happy that you can join us for Byond Talk tonight, and please take the time to share and invite your friends to watch you as we do our live. Hi Carla. She said she's
good. Hey Carla. Good evening.
I'm glad you're good, Carla. So, but before you introduce yourself, Monique, I'm just gonna do let our viewers know why we're talking about answering the call. And we believe that we are all called to be healers. Every single one of us. We're born. This is why we're born. We're born to basically do worship God and take care of what He's given us. He said we should have dominion over this earth, and we're supposed to be taking care of it. making sure it's healthy, making sure we're healthy, making sure each other are healthy. So that's what we're called to do. It is true healing others that we will experience our ultimate healing. And I want to say that again. It is true healing others that we will experience our ultimate healing. Because when we do good, when we sow good seed, when we help a person feel better, we feel better. So more than any other time in our lifetime, we know to be certain. We know that people this season, we know that certain. We know that people are lonely. You know, people are hungry. People are hopeless and uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air right now. A lot of people are unsure of the next step. There's a lot of anxiety, and you can agree with this. There's a lot of people feeling overwhelmed, and there's a lot of fatigue. They coined a new word. They call it COVID fatigue. I guess that's the new thing. So a lot of people are shutting and not being able to get out and do normal everyday thing. They're feeling a little bit drained. So no more than any time in history, there's a need for healing. There's a need for healthiness. There's a need for wholeness. There's a need for positive energy. So with that said, Monique, we're going to invite you to tell us who you are.
Awesome. Well, good evening to everyone, all viewers, to Erin and to Sandra. So first and foremost, I'm a child of God first. I'm a wife and a mom to two boys, 6 and 3. For me, education-wise, I studied at Humber College for Business Administration, as well had a specialization in human resources. So that was pretty interesting as well. From the very beginning, from school, even as a child, I always had a desire to kind of help people on varying scales, whether it's just an ear to listen or whatever the case might be. But helping people has always been something that's really been a part of me. And it's so funny how now in adulthood, God has kind of turned that around and enabled those very traits and stuff to be able to be utilized in what I'm doing currently, where I'm helping persons with their finances and so forth. So that's been really an interesting transition, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, beautiful. Aaron?
Very good. Yeah, well, it's nice to meet you, Monique, and glad to have you here today. And looking forward to talking about your healing journey and what brought you to this realization that you're manifesting right now, where you're doing some healing within the community.
Well, I mean, the reason why I kind of started doing this, well, firstly, I think it's my responsibility to, because I mean, if I have the information, I know that it's not necessarily, even from childhood, the financial education piece is not there. I even hear that now when I sit to people that are like even older than myself. Why didn't we learn this in school? I saw something I see we always learned about parallelograms in math class.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to be necessary during tax season, but nonetheless, the types of things that we learned in school doesn't transition into adulthood. Oftentimes, persons have lack of knowledge, and I think part of the reasons why the decisions that persons make as it relates to their finances is not as informed as it probably should be, just because of the fact that knowledge was not there. So that's why I do what I do, to kind of inform people and fill in the gaps.
Excellent. That's something that you can be very passionate about, teaching people about financial independence and teaching them concepts that's not common in our everyday educational system. So tell me a bit about where you came from financially, because did you come from a home that financial conversations was common or not, and when did you make that switch? What did you have to do to gain the information to be able to present it to people?
Well, firstly, the home I came from, they instilled, my father and mother kind of instilled savings. That was always a big part.
Right.
I also, another thing part about working hard, parents had multiple jobs, so I always seen that growing up. So it was never nothing of, okay, yeah, sit home and things are going to happen for you. That wasn't what was ingrained in me. So parts of that kind of transferred over to me, where I was kind of working multiple jobs and very quickly got very tired. I'm like, okay, but this can't be life. I can't be doing this for how much ever more, 30 odd years. Like, this is just not okay. So although I had a good relationship with money, as far as, okay, I make it, save some, you can buy yourself some, whatever the case might be.
Right.
What I soon realized is working as hard as my parents did is not what I wanted to do, and definitely not what I wanted my children to do, if that answers your question.
Yeah, but you touched on something there. You know, we have a relationship with money, but many of us are not conscious of that relationship. And a lot of that stems from, you know, what we saw in the home growing up. You know, like you said, you saw mom and dad working 2 jobs, you know, to make ends meet. And they, you know, I don't know, you know, your personal situation, what they amassed over time, but I think the learning is that, you know, we have to understand our relationship with money, know how money works, how to acquire it, and how to really build wealth, right? Because that's what we need to teach people.
And
right?
that was key. Yeah. That was key there. Building it and then being able to know what to do with it. Like, you just don't want to have it and you're like, okay, it's just sitting there. So what you said is key there, building that wealth and showing persons how to do the exact same thing.
Exactly. And there's a certain mindset that you have to make people aware of, you know, because a lot of, you know, growing up, you'd hear people say that, you know, they don't have money. I don't have money. You know, that becomes a part of your experience, that negative self-talk, right? So self-talk is important. Would you agree? When you're learning about changing your money paradigm, let's say.
Absolutely. It's about saying it. Like, oftentimes you might feel kind of weird when you're in the mirror saying it to yourself, but saying things like, money is coming to me, it's like it's on the way, that type of thing, that kind of reinforces it. So you're literally manifesting it before you actually see it happen, which is pretty much key. And not to be super spiritual about it, but they say there's power in the tongue. So if you're declaring it and you're decreeing it, okay, money is on its way to me, and you're actually positioning yourself for that, then that's you're putting yourself in the right path of receiving that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really good. But let's go back to the, I really like that, and that's what we want people to know. But I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute, because let's go back to the healing part of it. Let's go back to talent. If you said I have a relationship with money, but we all have relationships with money in some way, some form. But what we want to talk about is that relationship with money healthy. We're talking about healing, and a lot of our relationships with money is not so healthy. And money or finances or wealth or in whatever we do, I don't want to look at the dollar bill. I want to look at the legacy piece of it. Are we building a healthy legacy? I think that's where it is. Money comes into it, but there's more things at play here. And how would you speak to that? Is your journey relationship legacy-wise healthy? And how can you help people? Do you have any tips to give people about their journey legacy-wise? Money is a part of it, but let's look at the bigger picture legacy. Do you have any tips for them? How they can become healthy? Oh, that area, the legacy they're going to leave for their children, grandchildren, can be a healthy one. I know I said a lot to answer the question, but do you understand it?
Yeah, well, yes, I do. I was attempting to answer. Yes, but I mean, I understand, but that's on a bigger scale as far as speaking with legacy. But oftentimes persons can't even address the legacy piece because they're still trying to figure out how to open up a regular tax-free savings account. So regardless of, there needs to be those smaller conversations first. And then once you get comfortable in that, and then you see, okay, actually there is something outside of this. So it starts from the small pieces first. So money is, regardless of whether it's healthy or not, we have to start with having an understanding of what money is. And not having a greed or love for it like that, but to understand that it is a tool, and that tool can help create stability for our children's children. And again, biblically, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to leave an inheritance for kids. But again, it all goes back to, do you even understand the very fundamentals of money? And again, starting to save, because you can't say you're leaving a legacy, but you don't even have like a savings account. You know what I mean? There has to be one thing first, and then at big, it snowballs into something bigger. So everything starts first with actually understanding what it is first. If that answers your question.
That answers my question. I'm glad you say that. I'm really happy. But I want to ask you another one quickly.
Okay.
So what are some tips that you can give to a listener? What are those baby steps? What are those money or legacy building blocks, I like to say? What are those legacy building blocks that people need to have in their pocket?
Right. I think one of the first things is persons kind of are unforgiving of themselves. So say, for example, if I'm speaking with somebody who's older, let's say they're 45 or 50, whatever age they are, they tend to, why even start now? Look how far along I am in life. So oftentimes I think if you kind of understand, okay, time has passed, but still understand that it's not too late to start.
Right.
So you can become financially literate at 50. You don't have to necessarily do it at 18 as others have. So start where you are. That's the most fundamental piece. And once you start where you are, then that's where you're going to start adding on tools into your toolkit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just giving up that judgment that you have against yourself, because we beat up ourselves so much, and we compare ourselves to others, and we kind of just hold ourselves back. But I think you're right. Once you let go of that, forgive yourself and just make the best of where you at that point in time. Learn the information that you need to learn and apply it, and things will definitely start changing for you with a good plan and getting a good coach, right? Good financial coach to guide you and direct you along the path, so I think what you're doing is great, and teaching people about money and teaching them the difference between saving and investing, right? I mean, you can't save your way to $1 million, but you can invest your way to $1 million. And I think in the community, we don't think about investing, people always talk about saving, but it's hard for people to save nowadays. Would you agree?
Yeah, it is, because I guess for so long it hasn't been prioritized.
Right.
Getting the PSA, whatever that thing is called, that's more important than saving. I don't have enough money, but I have enough money to put on that. So it's all about prioritizing and making it a part of what you do. So as how you prioritize preparing or buying grocery. That's probably one of the next things you have to do. They say pay yourself first, and then you take care of everything else. So that's important.
And put your money into assets, things that's going to grow, right? Instead of buying that Mercedes, you're still living in a basement apartment, put that money, find a way to get a down payment on a condo or a townhouse or something to get started, because there's the greatest asset builder, the greatest wealth builder, right, that I've seen in my lifetime is definitely real estate. And if we talk about legacy and building wealth, we have to eventually work our way up to that, and again, just, mindset, having that mind. If you think you can't, you won't. But if you think you can, and I mean, you're people of faith. If you believe that, one day you're gonna, own your house, that's all it starts with, just thinking that, and eventually, continue thinking about it and then working towards it, and you definitely will manifest. And I say that because I know I've seen it happen for me. So that's the message, I think, as a coach. That's one of the messages you want to help people with, that long vision, right, of being able to have a plan in place, learn all the fundamentals, and then learn the difference between investing and savings, and put some goals together and work towards that end. So.
That's a great tip, Aaron. Again, let's go back to the that's amazing. But let's go back to the persons. I know you touch on mindset, but let's go back to the person's well-being, because I really believe if you don't have you can preach. Most of us go to church, and we see people. And let me use church. I go to church, and I see this a lot. We see people in church for 25 years who are like, is that they just came yesterday. Like they're totally have not grown, have not learned much, and they hear the same thing Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. They have many Bibles. So let's take that to a person who was raised a certain way, or don't understand don't understand that concept of investment. It's so foreign. Even if you tell them, and even if they had the dollars, they wouldn't invest it because they don't understand what that looks like, because or they don't feel like they can do it, or they work doing it. So that has to do with something deeper, and that's why we're talking about healing, and that's why I'm taking us back there. So there's something deeper that holds a person in a certain kind of bondage, whether that's the bondage of poverty, because I believe poverty is a bondage. And so a person may work 3 jobs or make enough money, but never own a home, or they never invested, or is that because they don't I think we're having an echo. Chief doesn't like me mentioning it, but there's an echo coming from somewhere. So if is it because they don't want a thing? Because I think they want it, but there's something psychologically, spiritually that's preventing them from having that thing. It's like a person in social housing that says, I'm comfy here, but you know they're not comfy because they look sick. They don't look well. They don't want to be there, but they don't believe that they can actually get up and leave that place. So let's get to that deeper place. How do you think we can help those people? Because I really don't think we can talk to that person just about money, opening a savings account. I think the conversation that we will have to have with a person like that is helping that person believe in themselves, helping that person getting a sense of worth, a sense of purpose, a sense of spiritual healthiness. Understand that if I was created in the image and likeness of God, then I can do anything, and all things on the earth is mine. And if I want it really badly, like we started off saying, that then I can really have it.
Right, and I mean, like.
Go ahead.
It's funny that you had mentioned that, just because even when I kind of just got started, as I mentioned before, helping people is something that I always like to do. And I found myself speaking to persons that were kind of in that demographic of, on assistance or living in, let's say, like government housing and so forth. And one of the things I found is that I quickly grew tired, not because they were bad people, but their heart wasn't, and their mind was not ready to get up out of the situation that they were in. So as a financial coach, of course, I'm there to motivate, uplift, but at the same time, the person that's in front of me also needs to want to change and want to shift. So that might be something that might be out of my scope if they're so far in as you're describing it. Of course, praying for them wouldn't be an issue, but I mean, where they're at, if they're getting information that's not necessarily telling them, you know what, invest all your money, it's small steps that they're supposed to be taking, and they're not able to do that. That's why they're going to continue to stay in that situation, because their mind and heart are not ready to move. So I do have the power to help them, but only as much as they'll allow me to. So I can't really go in and do magic. They have to want to actually do it too. So the healing that they might desire might be shot out through perhaps a pastor or a doctor, like someone that can help them with deep-rooted things that probably have happened in childhood. So I know how to get them out of that funk that they might be in. Just showing them information, talking with them, and seeing. But if there will be a shift, but if there's not, there's not really much that I would be able to assist unless they want to move.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the old adage, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? You got to have that thirst, that hunger within yourself as a motivator to propel you forward with the guidance of the coach in this instance.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're right. And this is why we're having these conversations, because we knew that I know I'm just picking your brain because we need to talk about it, because I know that you can't do it all by yourself. and neither do I, and neither Aaron can. But if we have more of these conversations, we're hoping to get people, to draw people in, to listen, to think about it, and really think about the power they have within themselves to make positive change, and that's including me. I'm a work in progress. It's every day growing. So none of us have arrived. So it's all about growing every day, and having. So if we can share a little, give a little, let a person know that you can actually move a step up. It's like a ladder; they can climb a step up, and it's our duty, like you pointed out, it's our responsibility to let them know. We can't let them do it, but we have to let them know that is possible.
Definitely, but I think it's the approach, right, and where the person is at that point in time, because you could approach them, or we could approach them with our financial coaching and healing and all that stuff, but they're not ready for that. That's not what they need. Maybe there's other healing that they would require, and I think any kind of emotional healing, I think it's once you deal with a lot of those emotional issues, then I think it frees your mind and creates an energy that you can focus about your finances. Because I know when you're depressed, when a person is depressed, they're not thinking about finances. They're not thinking about working and everything falls apart, right? So it's when you get to heal from that, start to feel good about yourself, then you work towards putting your life in order, right? You start looking at your health and physical, emotional, and financial, right? And then you can lift your head up and start maybe working with somebody and start putting some goals in place and get some direction in your life. But I think if they have I think it's a holistic way, right? If there's one aspect of your life that's just draining you, then you won't have energy to put towards something else, especially finances.
Right.
And that's exactly where we're going. Go ahead, Monique. Go ahead, Monique.
No, I just agreed with.
Okay, good. So with Aaron, you're absolutely right. We're gonna take guys, our beautiful guests, for those of you who are watching, we're taking a 1 minute break. We're just gonna take a minute to switch off. Chief, if you like, you can put Monique backstage. Let's take a minute. Aaron, so hi. So this break we're taking this minute and a half to talk about the work we do as coaches, as personal development coaches, body, mind, spirit healing. Aaron, you want me to start off?
Go ahead.
You want to go?
Well, I think it's very, the work that we do is in my opinion, is very important. We didn't just come to work in this field. We lived it. We have been broken, we have been depressed, we have been financially bankrupt, and we had to find a way to fight and to redeem ourselves and to heal ourselves, and create a different experience for ourselves. And this is why, one of the reasons why I got into this field is because of the passion that I developed for myself, and have to build my self-esteem and gain greater awareness of who I am. And I'm just excited to be able to share that with people in the community at large. And if you walk that path, you're going to understand and know the passion, and feel the energy that we bring to this role. And it's very defined, the program that we have, and probing questions. It's more, I call it experiential. There's power in experiential
it's
learning.
A deep cleaning, Aaron. So we do a deep cleaning. We take you for a deep dive into yourself, and we clean. So we work from the inside out. So our program is designed to take you in, to show you up to yourself. And understanding that it's really what's happening on the inside that's showing up on the outside. So if you're unwell on the inside, if you're holding on to baggages and unforgiveness and tiredness and just lethargy, whatever it is that you're holding on to, it's going to show up on the outside. So we take you through that, so you come to a place where you can accept. Because some of these feelings will not go away. It's going to have you accepting these feelings and managing them. Some things that show up in our lives will be in our lives. Mm-hmm. And we get to a, so this is what we do, right, Aaron?
It's an inside out approach. Out approach. And I think it's the greatest thing, because in life, we don't have this intentional approach to who we are, what's troubling us, how we can improve ourselves, how we can build our self-esteem. Unfortunately, we had to, get a few bruises here and there to wake us up, to the role that we're playing in our experiences. And that's what we do at Byond. We help awaken you to the role that you're playing in your life, and to be accountable and be responsible. Be intent what happens to you in your experience here in this great journey.
Yeah, so our minutes is up already. So next time we're on, we'll give you a little bit more. We're taking the time to tell you a little bit more about us and what we do, and the healing work that we do with our clients broadly. All right, so let's get back to Monique. And hey, Monique.
Hey, Monique. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Monique, you said a few things when you were on earlier. You talk about it's your responsibility to do what you do. It's our responsibility. And you talk about it's not too late to start building. It's never too late. And you talk about start where you are. And you talk about the big word priority. That's a big word. And I have to learn that over time, how to prioritize, what to prioritize in my life so that I can live a more abundant life. So thank you for sharing that. And I hope our listeners, our people who will view this broadcast will get that. We'll start focusing on what's priority, making a list, taking an inventory, being honest with oneself. Now, what is my priority? Why am I here? Who I am? Who am I? I say that wrong. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And what legacy am I here to build? And what can I leave for the next generation, my children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren? So with that said, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Aaron. Aaron may have question. I don't have any. Aaron, we have.
Well, I think discovering your purpose, I think it's a very fulfilling and enriching and peaceful place to be in life. Hey, Monique?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So tell me, how long have you been? Sorry?
How long have I been in doing this?
Yeah. When did you come to realize that healing? 3 years now?
Yes.
Excellent. And so let's say I'm a new client. What is your process? What do you have, like an onboarding kind of a process for new clients?
Yes. Well, first, what I like to do is sit down with, if it's a married couple, sit down with whomever, individual or couple, and do an analysis and an assessment with them. I think it would be unreasonable to make any sort of recommendations if I don't really know where they're at. So we sit down, do an assessment, and then pretty much go from there as far as what next steps would be.
Nice. That's a great approach, right? It's like going to see a doctor and telling him one or two things, and then he gives you a prescription. You're very thorough in what you do before you create a program. You do an analysis and see what the needs really are and the priorities, and you help them out that way.
Absolutely.
That's a great approach. Great approach. And how is that being received in the community? A financial coach. It's not a term that's very common today. Like you hear about life coaches and but I guess. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yes, well, it's not common. Sometimes there is some pushback because, depending on who it is, they might be a little less reluctant to have other persons know about their finances. So sometimes you get pushback, but nonetheless, even in the season that we're in, with people losing their jobs and so forth, there's a desire for people to know more about finances, just because when this pandemic happened, persons were like, okay, I don't have an emergency fund. That's when it hit them, when an emergency actually happened. So being able to now connect with people that are like, I wasn't prepared for this pandemic, but if something else happens, I want to make sure that I'm positioned to be successful. It's been able to open up opportunities for me to be able to speak with people about their finances.
Excellent. Do you find a lot of your clients now are seeking to be entrepreneurs, and again, just the realization from this pandemic that because you're working for somebody, you're depending on somebody else for your bread, and the pandemic comes and then the bread stops. But if you had a business going of some kind, then you would probably still keep the wheels turning. So do you see a lot of clients looking to entrepreneurial opportunities?
Absolutely, because there's many who recent client of mine, she's was actually on maternity leave, and the company called her while on maternity leave and said your position is no longer available. So during the pandemic, she's on maternity leave and now knows that she's not returning to a job. So there's persons that are like, okay, no, I really need to get up and do something for myself. It's no longer okay to just be working and having one stream of income. Persons are trying to get multiple streams of income. Because if you're relying on one, it's like a table. If there's only one leg, it's going to fall over. So you want to have multiple things happening at the same time.
Wow. Somebody talked to me about that also, about multiple streams of income. It's kind of like you can't, with the way things are going now, you can't put your egg in one basket, like they used to say. The old folks used to say. So multiple streams of income is the way to go, having a backup. So a lot of people are getting into entrepreneurship while they I heard I think it was Lisa Nichols called parallel entrepreneur. You're doing more than one thing. You're doing more than one thing. You're doing your own thing while you're working for somebody. A lot of people are doing that because we're in uncertain times, right?
Yes.
Everything can happen at any time, right? So,
yes. So individuals should tap into their own ability, their creativity, what skills they have, and just put in a good effort behind it, and they will generate some income, some cash flow for their family. And that's the only security I think there is today, in your ability to earn, whether it be on a job or bring a product to the market, a product or a service to the marketplace, and just giving it a full out effort, to make some income, and more and more people are doing that today. And I think it's great.
Monique,
just find something you're good at and monetize it. Whatever you can do, whatever you can put your hands to do, do it good, and then monetize it somehow and make it work.
Monetize it, yeah.
Definitely. I think we're seeing a boom in that today, especially online, right? See a lot of people going online with businesses, and it could be something as simple as making candles or, making shea butter lotions and all that kind of stuff, right? And just keep the wheels turning, there's always a way. It's always a way to.
That was a way of life before. Before, I would say maybe the 20th century. Before people were doing that a lot. And bartering with each other. So you make this, and I need that, and I do this, and you need it, so we exchange. Sometimes it's not necessarily money. People are doing that now. So a person does hair, and a person does massage. So we trade. I do your massage, you do my hair, and I think it's a beautiful thing because look at it. It doesn't always have to be passing money. It could be passing things or passing skills, right? Sharing that, So I think it's good. It's helping us to tap into, as Erin, we talk about this all the time, our natural resources, because we're all creators. Good evening. Good to see you, Erin. Somebody saying hi to you, Erin.
Hi, Destiny Savory.
We're all creators. And we have natural resources inside of us. And now is the time to tap into that and draw it out and use it. Every single one of us have that. Yeah.
Definitely. I read somewhere prior to say 1910, 90% of the people were self-employed. We're on the farm, we're self-sufficient, but then things flipped around, right? Today where it's 90% of people are working for somebody. Pardon me?
Industrialization.
Right.
Where they build factories and people start, hiring people in factories, working people like a dog, like a slave. That came about, and it's still happening. This is what we do. This is what we do, Erin. You like to say you go to where's peace?
Plantation.
When Erin goes to work, he says, "Go to the plantation." So much we know that a part of us know that we're supposed to be creating for ourselves, and that's why we get a lot of people get so much anxiety going to work, and they get burnt out, and because I don't think it's a natural thing to do. I think it's very unnatural. I don't know. That's me. You can quote me on that. I think it's very unnatural to show up to people, and sometimes those people don't appreciate anything you do. You just they don't even know your name.
Because we've been taught to conform. We've been indoctrinated into the system, right? But we have to unlearn a lot of those things, and that's where the healing comes in, right? Healing our thoughts, healing our mind, healing the way we see ourselves, our potential, and learning to take action, positive action. And this is where coaching comes in, financial coaching, life coaching, what we do. We're here to help people to unlearn and to relearn and to reconnect, to their higher self, because that higher self is prosperous, it's abundant, it's limitless, and we have to remember it, we have to own it, we have to reconnect with it, and that's where our peace is, right? But it's so important to heal, to get that healing, right?
Yes. So Monique, on the topic of healing, do you think you bring some kind of healing to the people you meet and community when you're educating them about their finances or their financial well-being? Do you think you bring that to them?
Well, yeah, absolutely, I do, because as I mentioned to Erin when you had asked how I usually after meeting with clients, what we talk about is there like a plan and an analysis. After completing the analysis, we can see that there's actually been a change, and even bigger than that, you follow up with them. So the information that we provide and they implement and put into practice, you can actually see the effects of it when you see an investment account growing, when you see a savings account growing. So definitely it is bringing financial healing by kind of implementing the things that we do discuss. So it is absolutely useful and important what we work together and do.
Excellent. And you're also building relationships, right? It's it's a lifetime relationship with your clients, I imagine. You're not like a MacGyver.
That's one of the things that I say. Once we do their analysis, Right. It's not just a one-shot deal. No, like now, just so you know, I'm going to be following up with you twice a year. You know that. Oh yeah, no problem. So there's a relationship. It's actually not just a one-shot. Okay, you did this and then we're gone. We have a relationship now because I want to track your progress so that you can know what's going on and making sure you're on track as per our plan that we put in place. So yes, definitely long-time relationship.
Fantastic.
And we know that a lot of shame comes with. We know that a lot of shame comes with financial or financial distress, if you may. So when if we're not doing well financially, we don't want anybody to know. We don't want to talk about it. I know it's kind of a shameful topic. So how do you help people to, and this is why people may wonder, we're talking about healing have to do with finance, and people think healing just has to do with if you're sick or physically sick, but if you're emotionally sick, you're financially unwell, you're spiritually unwell. Healing is broad, and that's why many of us don't get to a place of ultimate healing or get to a good place. I don't like to say ultimate because healing is a journey. But if you don't understand that, if you're unwell with your money or your finances, it's actually physically unwell. You gotta understand that it's kind of the same because if there's we know that they say over 50% of people divorce because of financial issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big deal. A lot of people develop other kind of ailments because of financial issue. It's hard when the month end is coming up and you can't pay those bills. So it creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress on the body that the body cannot manage. After a while, you're having other symptoms like cancer and all that stuff. So let's be honest. So the conversation, it's a big conversation that needs to be had. And so how do you get people to understand that it's okay to talk about the quote unquote secret about money?
I think one of the things that, people, even before I speak to them, like a general message to everybody, oftentimes when we keep our mouth shut and we don't open up our mouth and say, hey, I need help, we're the ones that are blocking whatever potential blessings could be coming to kind of clear the way and kind of make things better for us. So oftentimes persons kind of need to put that aside. Okay, the pride, I don't want nobody to know my business, and open up your mouth and say, I need help. Because when you do that, you open the opportunity to have that dialogue with somebody who could potentially help you. Provided, again, that you're coming with the right heart and the mind to say, okay, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to do what I need to do. Besides that, you need to open up your mouth and say you need help, because nobody will know that you need help unless you say that you do. So that would be one of the key things first, is just don't be prideful. Don't be ashamed. Whatever, just open up your mouth and say, I need help. Can you, or what can I do? Because for me, in what I'm doing, I guess there's a lot of portion of anybody on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, that I have know what I do. If there's a situation, they're always real. Again, you need to open up your phone and say that you need help, so then that help can be provided to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So you talk about the shame, Sandra. I think one of the things that I had to learn is that, your situation, the situation that you're in, it's not who you are. You're in that situation.
Yeah.
And know that you can change given the right information. Maybe it's not your fault. You didn't have the right information before, right? Before you met, Monique, so it's not your fault. So now you're here at this crossroad where you can get the right information to make a difference in the next, in the next 90 days, in the next 12 months, in the next 3 months. You never had this information before. So let go of the past, right? Forget about the past. It's done. You can't change it. But what you can change is where we go from here, right? And it was just an experience. It's not who you are. You have to rebuild your self-esteem and give up that attachment that you have with your current situation. Because I think we get locked in to that situation and we really judge ourselves, and we weigh ourselves down and just sometimes just get stuck there, right? So it's just disconnecting, right? It's not who I am. I can change, I have somebody working with me now. They have the experience. They have the information. I'm going to stay close to them. I'm going to, look up for their guidance, and I'm going to work my way out of this situation, right?
Yeah.
Until I can do it on my own, right? So I think that's critical.
That's amazing. That. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for that. It's I had something that I was gonna say to that, but I forget. So I forget everything I wanted to say. So
This is she's it's post corona. There's still lingering effects of the virus. Seriously, hey Sandra,
it's true.
I know it's been what, 2 months?
Not quite.
Not quite 2 months.
Yeah, almost 14th of December. Yeah, the 14th will be 2 months. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's okay. We understand. We're with you. We love you.
Totally forget. Oh my God!
I forget all the time, and I haven't gone through what you've gone through.
Oh no!
That's my excuse.
Okay, so Monique, help our listeners understand this. How, because I know you do a lot of the knowledge-based educational stuff with the people you serve. And how does that translate into their healing? How does this knowledge that you give them, and what are some things that you could say that you have worked with somebody, or you know somebody that is grown, that has done better in this area of their life or other areas? Because what happens when one area is healthy, it trickles on in other areas, and you're like, oh my God, no, I wanna, oh my finances are so good, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm going to eat healthy, so now physically you're doing well. I'm going to pay my tithe. I'm going to church next Sunday. I want to give an offering. So spiritually you're feeling good. So let me know how I would translate into their healing.
Sorry, everything you said was really muffled and echoey, so it was a lot, but I didn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, was I echoing? Yeah. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Yeah, so I know it's a little bit difficult tonight. I don't know why. I was saying, how does the educational piece of it translate into giving your clients the education, the knowledge base, translate into their healing? Have you seen any results of that?
I mean, the same effort and so forth that we use, and again, it's not necessarily specific to finances, but it's more so about taking specific action. So if anything that they've accomplished as it relates to finances, if there's another area that perhaps is giving them chance to apply those same action steps to kind of improving the general of whatever else might be happening in their lives. So I mean, if it happened in finances, whatever kind of things they've applied there, they can also apply in other areas of their life, because it's things that are not just generic to your finances. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's all connected, right?
Yeah.
There's an interrelationship. And we talked about it before, the inside, right? It's however you're feeling on the inside, it's going to manifest in, your outer life, right? Could be relationships, could be with money, could be with your jobs, right? It all starts from the inside, what you're thinking and how you're feeling on the inside.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's good. So we came up, I think we have about 6 minutes to go. So I had some questions about the journey of healing, but I'm gonna ask Monique to kind of chime in on that. If you can give our listeners some tips about their healing journey, what kind of tips would you give them about their healing journey?
Well, I mean, even as it relates to finances, we kind of going to be a repeat of what we've spoken about before. But I mean, wherever a person is at, be it broken financially, whatever the case might be, wherever you are, you can start right where you are. So taking those little steps day by day, and kind of just not saying going back in time because we know we can't do that, but just kind of make up for lost time, so to speak. So take those daily steps to kind of get where it is that you need to go. And oftentimes that's why the assistance of a financial coach is necessary, because we don't necessarily in ourselves have the motivation to do it ourselves. So the journey is ongoing, even for myself personally. As I mentioned, I don't have necessarily like a rag to riches story, whatever the case might be, but I do have a journey and it's still ongoing, and everyone's journey is going to be ongoing. So start where you're at, take small steps, and just keep it moving.
Awesome. Very good. I like that.
Start where you're at. Start where you're at.
Yes, and the journey's ongoing. Ongoing. It's a marathon, right? It's not there's no destination per se. Absolutely. Right? You're always going to be learning and growing in awareness. And but we have to take action. We have to take action, and you have to find somebody you can work with, right? Because and like Monique says, you collapse the time frame when you work with an experienced person, you know, that has the knowledge and the experience to help you. That's where you collapse time frame. So
a trusted person that you can work with, and we have to always put that in, because you know. Times we live in. So you find a trusted person. I remember about 15 years ago when I needed some help. I had to confess my money woes, my financial woes. About 15 years ago, I was struggling. I struggled in the sense that I wasn't able to keep it together. I was a hot mess. And I remember asking I go to Winners. I like Winners. Winners was my drug. And I go to Winners, and you come out, it was just not good. So what I had to do to keep accountable, I have a good friend, that's a trusted person, and I had to turn over my bank card, everything to her, my credit card, my bank card, everything to her. I turned over everything to my friend, and she gave me a little envelope every week. I did that. It worked. She gave me an envelope every week. She did, because you know what? It changed my viewpoint, and I wasn't going to Winners because I have Winners money. So we made a budget together, and I could only use what I could only spend what she gave me, and
nice.
And it worked, and we did that for several months, probably more than 6 months. We did that, and to put me back on track, and it was amazing. So it wasn't a financial coach, right? But it was kind. She was being that for me,
right?
Friends that was helping me get my ducks in order. So anybody, I want people to reach out to you, Monique. I want you to put in the chat how people can get to you, or you can see it and then put it in. So how can people get to you if they need a financial coach?
Well, on Instagram, my name is mrs.eoto. So miss each one, teach one. That's what the EOT stands for. Nice. And definitely what I believe each and every one of us, whatever gifts, whatever talents we have, we should be able to pay it forward and teach others that don't necessarily know the information we do. So again, that's mrs.eoto. You can reach out to me and we can connect.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And you do virtual meetings these days, I guess?
Since March. Nothing but
it's working well.
We do Zoom. It's working well. It's actually been pretty busy, actually.
Yep.
So I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, congratulations on all your success, and being a good example of how we can keep the wheels turning even during a pandemic, being creative and finding creative ways to keep things going, so that's awesome.
That's awesome. So we're gonna go to last words, and for our listeners, please remember that we also do personal development coaching. We tackle body, mind, spirit issues. So we work with you to get that all those 3 components in alignment so that you can have an abundant life. So if you need our help, reach out to us, myself or Aaron George. Hey, Aaron again. we guys, we don't want to brag, but we do good work. We do good work. Not bragging on our work, but we do great work. We have worked with a number of people, and it's good work. And the work, it's deep work. So we can't put people's out there on social media, but we do work. And it's really good work that we do.
Definitely.
So thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much, Monique, for joining us tonight. It was great. It was amazing conversation. We appreciate it. We love you. And we're just going to go for last word, and we're going to be closing off. We're coming down and getting those messages from the guy in black. So last word. Just use one word to describe one word that you would leave with our audience. One word to send them off.
I guess forgiveness. Forgiving yourself. If you're not where you wanted to be financially, forgive yourself and just start where you, as I said, start where you are. That's the message for today. Start where you are. Forgive yourself and start.
Aaron, one word.
Yeah. Wow. I like those. I like that. Forgive yourself and start where you are.
Your word, Aaron. You have got one word.
I like that. You know what? It's time for change. It's time for change. We cannot continue to do what we've always done. We've got to do something different to have different experiences. And it begins with our thoughts, right? Healing begins with thinking that I'm worthy, I'm deserving, and I can do it.
I have two words. I get to have 2 words. Aaron had 20 words just now. I'm just going to do 2. Get help. Get help. Get help. Do not be able to ask for help. Get help. And with that, guys, we hope that you have an amazing rest of the week. Rest of the weekend, next weekend, and next week. We're on again on the 18th, and we're going to be talking to a lady out of Atlanta. And I don't know if you noticed, for our listeners, we gone international. We just had conversation with somebody out of Ghana, and now we're going to Atlanta. So we're all over the place. You never know. So send us positive energy and keep us in your prayers. And until then.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Peace.
Byond exists to define purpose through holistic mentoring. At Byond, we will assist you to achieve success, enjoy inner peace, and live your best life. Basically, we're here to inspire you to heal and transform. Byond umbrella consists of Byond Talk, Byond Virtual Learning Space, Byond Coaching and Mentoring Services, and Byond Online Shop. For more information, visit us at www.sandraturgot.com or contact us at byondonline@gmail.com.
Dak TV.